Hello everyone, Lings. Oh, didn't put my hat on. A little bit excited, a little bit anxious. This is a new area I've discovered. I scouted it out earlier. I wasn't here long, but I scouted it out earlier, and it's a beautiful place. That's why I come here, because it's a really beautiful place. But it's I've never been here before, so this is a completely different area to me. So I'm a little bit anxious about what I'm gonna find. I mean, the area was chosen, other than its beauty, because it is really nice, is that although it's a bit open, I'll show you in a minute, although it's a bit open, it's a small area surrounded by trees and bushes, and then in the centre is just an overgrown grass pit. It's not been tended, and what I think why I think this exists is because the whole of this area I'm in is surrounded, is a circle of bushes and trees, and outside of that is all the farmland, and it looks like it just, for whatever reason, can't be farmed, so they farm the other side of it, and it's just allowed, this centre bit is allowed to sort of grow up and be trees and bushes and grass and just be completely unattended, as far as I can work out. So around the edge of the farm, around the edge of this area, it's gorgeous open farmland, and then in here it's a bit sort of wild and open but overgrown at the same time, you know, high grass and stuff. So a little bit anxious, a little bit nervous, never been here before, but the beauty of it was calling me, and I'm not interfering with anything, because this is, as I say, this has just been left to do whatever. It doesn't look like there's any human activity in it at all. There's no rubbish, there's no paths, there's a few little indentations that go into a very sort of low bush, which is clearly animals. So I'm not disturbing anything. I'll always do the leave no trace, not blah, but even so, you know, I might be on someone's land, but I'm not on something they're using, so it's not something that I'm not gonna destroy anything, let's put it that way. There's another car going past. There's a country road alongside one of the bushes, because the whole thing is surrounded by a ring of bushes and trees, as I said, and one side's got a little country road on it, and I occasionally hear a car. I've been here half an hour. This is the second or maybe the third car I've just heard going past, and he's gone again. So, you know, it was gated. There's a gate, big metal gate to get into this area, but nothing's driven in there. You know, it's not even like tracks for cars or tractors. So yeah, I'm not really sure what this is. It's completely unattended. I'll show you later. I'll do my famous 360 and show you what's going on before it gets dark. But yeah, I'm hoping this is going to be a good one, because it's a lovely area, and I think I'm not interfering with anyone else. So we'll see. Oh, this is for you, Robert, Bulgaria. I know you love them. Just for you, babe. Right, so I did that so I could see the tiny little screen at the front. Reading glasses, so I don't need them all the time, just when I'm looking closely. I mean, sometimes I do use them, sometimes I don't have them on when I'm looking close at something, but it's blurred, so I can kind of see roughly what's going on. But this time I'm wearing them, just for you, pal. So I'm going to do a 360. I've cheated a little bit, because I like to do a 360 from where I'm camping, but it's like quite a bit in the way, I think, so I've moved it a smidge. So here's today's a 360. It actually blows. There it goes. Look at that. Isn't that gorgeous? There we go. Dun, 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 back to me. So, and I'm going to go around there somewhere. Where's my bag? Is that my bag? Tiny little screen, I think so. So that means I'm going to go sort of there somewhere. Because the grass, it's sort of all overgrown. And then there's like a weird little grass patch in this corner. Down there. You see it's sort of all overgrown there. And then this sort of grass patch which continues that way. All on its own. And it's really high grass as well. I don't probably look that high there. It's really high grass. And all the way around here is all bushes, trees and what have you, creating a circle all the way around this sort of patch in the middle. I said it was round earlier, I think, but I think it's more like triangular, probably. And it's been a funny old day, but the last sort of few hours it's been a blue sky and really hot. But for some reason, it's just temperature's plummeted. I'm here in a t-shirt and I'm going. I've got a coat, obviously. I bought. I don't think we're quite there with layers and all that stuff yet. So what I did was I just bought a thick down wrapper coat. So, because it's. I'll wait till it gets cold and I'll put that jacket on. And I don't think it'll be too much. I don't know. Yeah, I don't know. We'll see. It's starting to get dark now. I keep hearing people. See, it's Friday night. A lot of people, drunk people, walking home from the pub. I don't tend to do weekends if I can help it, because it increases the chances of the silly people coming across me. I'm not scared of people per se. I can handle myself, but I don't. Yeah, they can still ruin the night. You know, if they can come over and do whatever they're doing, see you there, and come back later and do whatever they do, and it can. Yeah, it still ruins your night, doesn't it? You know, I'm here to enjoy myself and have some peace and quiet, and a bunch of drunk people come around and being silly can ruin it. That's why I tend to not do weekends, but I had to do Friday night this time. I didn't have a choice. So hopefully they're just going to keep walking on by, and it relies on them not sort of coming to the gate and saying, oh, let's nip over the gate and muck about in there. It's just, as long as they keep walking past, I'm golden. So I don't know if I need the light on. It's getting dark now. Does that make a difference? I'm going to show you the I haven't sorted myself a microphone out yet. The mic on that I bought, which is supposed to be a good one, only comes out one speaker, and I can't work out why. I've fiddled with all the settings on the GoPro. I'm going to turn that off. I fiddled with all the settings on GoPro, and I fiddled with all the settings on the mic, and it's supposed to be a good one, and it comes out one speaker, and I don't know why it's doing that. But anyway, I don't know if you can see this. So I expect the sound is going to go down a bit because the GoPro's facing the other way. So today I've taken out the Hydra. That's why I keep going in front of the camera. I'm not trying to sort of say, hi, look at me. I need the mic. So I took out the Hydra 200 today. There she is in all her glory. Do I need the light on? Let's try it. Hasn't made much difference. Yeah, there she is. Lovely big vestibule. There's two reasons she hasn't. There's two reasons that she hasn't been out. If I go over here, I'm a bit less under the tree. Might be a bit brighter. There's two reasons that she hasn't been out recently. One is because I didn't see it advertised when I bought it, but I think it's a winter tent because all the inside is solid, aside from a few mesh points where there's vents. Other than that, it's solid. So I think it'd be too hot for the summer. It's now officially autumn, and the temperatures slowly dropping to reassure us that that's what it is. And so I haven't been using it for that reason. The other reason, which I've never said before actually, I forgot until tonight, is that the last time I used it, I came home with ticks all over me. That is I've been doing, how long have I been doing this for now? I've got to have this channel for nearly 2 years, somewhere around there, just under, and I've never had ticks before. And I came home from my go-to forest, which is partly the reason I looked elsewhere at forests elsewhere, is because yeah, I've come home covered in ticks. I will go back there and just try it out, especially in the winter. It should be easier, but yeah, I come back covered in ticks, and I thought there'd be some in the tent, and so I couldn't. So I needed to go and turn it inside out to shake it out and get rid of them all, and I couldn't be bothered to do that. So it was partly because it was summer, and partly because the last time I used it, it had ticks in it. But today I took it outside and I shook it all inside out, and hopefully got rid of any, if there was any in there. Yeah, so that was horrible. I've never experienced that before. Strange to say that. I've been doing this a long time, camping all the time, never come home with ticks, and that one day I did come home covered in ticks. I got tick repellent on today, first time I've ever used it ever, because my partner was like, you ain't going back to that woods, going in tick, you're not going there unless you spray yourself with, go and have a bath in tick repellent. So fair enough, you know, I should get covered in them too if I don't sort it out. So so yeah, that's the two reasons I didn't use the Hydra. But I love the tent, so I was really looking forward to coming back out in it again today. It's a good tent. It's as I say, it's the inside's all solid, and it has a really big vestibule. And I forgot, I usually have a little bit of material I put down there because it doesn't have a ground sheet, but it's a really big vestibule. It's not the biggest inside, and it tapers down smaller as you get to the end, so you have to sleep at this end because you can't sit up. Literally, it tapers down so small. So two people would have to sit shoulder to shoulder at the front, because there's no room. You know, it's definitely, they've made that a foot end, and it's very bulky and heavy. Today I bought so much stuff that I couldn't get the tent in the bag. I probably could have. I really squashed and pushed and probably, but the distance I was walking was quite short. I was happy to carry it. Just had it under my arm because it was, I just couldn't be bothered to try and squeeze it in there, to be honest. And it is heavy, it is old, but then it's thick material, and you know, the inner tent's all solid, and you know, it's a two-man tent, so you know, 5,000, how would you say, hey, it's makes the material quite thick. So it's supposed to be a backpacker tent, but it is quite bulky. But if you imagine, if you are using it as a two-man, which is a bit tight for that, but if you are using it as a two-man, then only one of you's got to carry it, isn't they? So the other one can compensate. So maybe if you look at it like that, it's not actually that heavy. But if you're carrying it on your own, it is quite bulky and quite heavy. So, you know, depends what way you look at it. But if I can bring it, especially over the winter, you'll probably see a lot of that, unless I have the money for a different tent. But you'll probably see a lot of me using that, because it is, in my opinion, a winter tent, and it's going to help keep warm. I'm not sure I need it yet, but I bought it anyway because the temperature is dropping. I was a bit scared to try and get something thinner. I got a mirror. I won't bother doing the equipment check, but while on the subject, I bought the Leviathan sleeping bag as well, because I don't think it's RAV 900 weather yet. I think maybe even the OEX Leviathan is going to be, I'm going to have to quilt it, you know, unzip it all the way down and just use it as a quilt so some air can get in, because I think that's going to be a bit hot to use as a sleeping bag. But I think bringing the OEX, which is slightly too warm for this weather, but using it as a quilt compensates and brings it to I think it's going to bring it to just where I like it. So I've lowered my camera as much as I can, so the light's as close to the floor as possible. Ooh, I don't actually feel that cold, but steamy. I just wanted to show you something. I've done quite a few equipment what do you call it, this is the equipment I'm using type things, at the beginning of videos and showing everything I've got. So I'm sure you're quite bored with that, but there's something new I have got that I wanted to show you. I've had a lot of troubles with my pillows, and I bought a Sea to Summit pillow, inflatable pillow, and OMG, it's soft, it's comfortable, it's warm, it's a bit crisp packety, but it is a really good, soft, comfortable pillow. The best one I've had so far. I can't remember what it's called, the actual model, it's too dark to see. But I still feel it's a bit low on the sleeping pads. It just feels like I'm a bit too straight, so I think that's just me more than anything else. And you can pump this up really full. The other ones I wasn't pumping up very full because they were like rock hard. This one you can pump it out really full. It's still lovely and soft. Sea to Summit, the first thing I've ever owned by them because they're quite expensive. This was on a sale, and oh, it's brilliant. But it's just, I think it's just down to my taste, which I think I've shown you that before. But what I wanted to show you, because I tested this in my camper van, because I hadn't intentions of going camping yet, so I thought I want to test it out beforehand as soon as I got it. But we were out up in Somerset visiting my partner's dad, because we got up there to visit quite a lot, and while we were in the shop up there, it was just an odd bits and bobs shop, just generalised odds and sods, and there was this one up here, just a lightweight pillow. I don't know who it's by, it's a really cheap one. On its own, it's not inflatable, it's just a normal pillow, and I've avoided these because they are, on their own, they are quite everyone I've looked at has been quite rubbish really, because it's still quite big and bulky, isn't it, really, for taking with you camping. It is quite bulky, it takes up a lot of space, and that's it. They're all about that size. I'm certainly not saying this is the most comfortable one of this type, a non-inflatable one that you just curls up and then you curl it. But what I have discovered, that in conjunction with that together, oh my god, it's super comfortable. I'm starting to think that it could have been any, now I'm using it with this, it could have been any inflatable maybe, because it's more about just getting the right height, because that's what's actually touching my face now. So I'm starting to think that may be, but I would certainly not give this up for anything though, because it's such a lovely one anyway. But perhaps not so necessary now I've got this one. But the two together, for me, I don't have that rock solid. I let a little bit out of it to get it exactly as I want it. But the two together now are the most comfortable pillow I've ever had in my life, rivaling, probably even better than my pillow at home, because it's made me think I want to change my pillow at home now. So the two together, I've finally, after nearly 2 years of backpacking, camping, has found the perfect thing for my head, because that's something I've really been struggling with. It's either too hard, or I'm too flat, or that's one thing I'm struggling with. But this combination is amazing. It's no weight to it, it's virtually no weight, but it is bulky. But I've found that I'm not really putting very much in the pocket in the hood of my backpack, so it fitted in there fine. So it is bulky, but I had a space for it, and well worth. Strange, because it's only 8 o'clock, I think. It's dead on 8 o'clock, and feels like it's like 1 in the morning. It's so deadly, except for the tinkle from that river or stream, whatever it is. It's deadly quiet. Can't hear a sound. It's just a really beautiful sky. No point showing you that because it doesn't pick up the stars. Beautiful sky with loads of stars. completely still. Air is completely still, and it's taken me sort of like 20 minutes to do stuff because I just keep going, looking at the surroundings, which is why I'm here. I'm just bowled over with it. It's just the peacefulness of it is just awesome. The quietness, I can hear owls twittering, and the odd rustle in the bushes that makes me a bit I think there's a lot of bird activity in the bushes around me, but yeah, not a sound. It's so peaceful. So tonight's din-dins, spaghetti hoops. You might think this is weird. I don't like pasta, because for certain types of pasta, because it's about the texture. Some things, when I try to swallow, make me gag. Thick spaghetti, when I try to swallow, it's like swallowing worms. But yeah, I can have a lasagna. It's not like all pasta, because that's sheets and it doesn't have the same texture. Yeah, and I don't mind spaghetti hoops, because they are a non-gag shape. Weird, I know, but it's one of my things. So that's tonight, and I was in a hurry, and I take all my food out of my van. My van's got a cupboard, and I fill it up with food, and I just literally opened the door, because I was kind of behind the cupboard, and I just reached in and grabbed it, and went, whatever I get. So yeah, it was soups. And tomorrow, I can't be bothered to get them now that they're over there. I've got like an army ration type, the little brown bags of beans and sausages for breakfast, if I can be bothered. Just recently, I've been getting up in the morning and not eating for ages after I got up. So chances are I could be leaving before I want something to eat. I always have a coffee though. So I'm going to cook up. I'm going to heat up these hoops and have them for dinner, and then make a cuppa afterwards. So I'm gasping, but I'm going to eat first. No particular reason, I'll just do it that way round. Definitely going to be a lot of condensation on the inside of the tent tonight, because I'm sitting here and my beard's wet. The air's so thick. I think I went like that, I went, ooh. This is definitely going to be some condensation on the tent. According to the weather, it's not going to rain though. But I think it's just because of the environment I'm in. It's very thick. Dewy air. Those spaghetti hoops were disgusting. I didn't even get halfway through them. And for me, if I don't get halfway through something, must be something wrong with it. The sauce was really flavourless and watery. That's Heinz. Gross. But a cup of tea's nice. I was in a search for a little bottle to bring my milk in. I used to bring powdered milk, but it's absolutely fine just to bring a bottle. This was from this was a digest shot from M&S. Yeah, like a good bacteria type thing. Perfect size bottle. You can get 3 cups of tea, probably more off that one bottle. It's perfect. Not too big, bulky, not too heavy. I used to, back in the day when I first started this, used to bring powdered milk. I thought you had to do that, but for one night you can bring milk. Even in the summer, it's fine. Just keep it out of direct sunlight. I was trying to find the correct size bottle, couldn't find one anyway. It had to be plastic, it had to be tiny. Perfect. So I brought the table inside the vestibule. That. I brought everything inside, my chair, the table, everything. All sits nicely on there. If it rains in the night, which it's not supposed to, it all fits nicely in the vestibule. It's a really good sized vestibule. I know it's a 2-man, but I think even for that it's a good sized vestibule. I just wish I had a ground sheet for it, but well, does that matter? Because everything's off the ground because it's all on the table. And in the morning I'll just take the whole table out. So inside the tent you can sit up in it, but it's you have to be right at the door end. If you sit at that end, it's quite spacious, but you can't actually sit up. So you know, it's like spacious, but it's not spacious. But it is spacious, but it's not spacious. I'm mixed about this, but you know, for 1 man, it's spacious. But you know, 2, don't know. But you know, I don't know. I've got my other tent, the 4-sat, the £50 tent. You can sit up at both ends equally. There's still loads of headroom, and it's half the weight of this one. So I love this one, but it's kind of hard to say it's my favourite anymore. But anyway, it's certainly a good one for the harsh weather and the cold weather, because it's all solid. But anyway, it's time for bed, and I brushed my teeth, I've done all my ablutions, and I'm gonna go to bed because it's quite late now. So good night. Good morning. I've got on my super winter gloves because it's a really blue sky. I think you're on a slant. Really blue sky this morning, so I think it's going to be a warm day. But this morning it's blooming freezing. I'm not sure what the temperature is, but it's really freezing. I was warm enough in the bed. I didn't turn the sleeping bag into a quilt because the temperature dropped so much. I thought, no, it's going to be too cold for that. But the Leviathan was perfect. I wasn't too hot, I wasn't too cold, I was exactly right. The thing about autumn is, although the temperature in the day might be fairly warm, it plummets at night. It really does. Oh, damn it! I just saw 2 look like quite baby deers jumping across there, but there's no way. I didn't see them until they were already in the bushes. Very young they were, little babies, one behind the other. They were just running, but as soon as I saw them, they would already disappeared into the bushes, so it's too late. Oh, that's a shame. That would have been nice to film. Quite far away. I'm not sure how well the camera picked it up, but I could hear a lot of activity last night, animal activity. I think because this area is so untouched, that it allows the animals to sort of use this as an area of safety. But so I could hear footsteps. I knew it wasn't people. It wasn't. Yeah, the sound wasn't 2-legged bipedal, and it was quite light on your feet type footsteps, and I could hear them around the tent and that. But anyway, it's pointless. It'd been nice to film it, but it'd been pointless because as soon as I unzipped the tent, they would have just gone. But there was a lot of activity, a lot of birds as well. I think this is an area for birds to sort of get it on unchallenged. So yeah, a lot of activity. So on the whole, it's been, I was a bit anxious because, you know, I'm not massively familiar with the area per se. Certainly not familiar with this area. So I was a bit anxious. But all I heard, I did hear like a constant sound from some people over there. I was looking on the map, and it's quite far, but there is a house. It's just open fields, but there is a lonely house over there. Could have been someone, because it was like something that never went away. You know, if that house wasn't there, then it was the only other option is somebody sat in the middle of a farmer's field making lots of noise. So I think it was a house. So it wasn't anything to worry about, because that's just noisy people in their own house. And like, I don't know, by the time I went to bed, maybe 5 cars had gone past. Maybe not even that many, I don't know. So actually, you know, as it turned out, it was a good one. And I needn't have been concerned. Nobody was coming in here. So yeah, I may do this one again at some time. I'm going to skip breakfast this morning. I thought about it, and my alarm went off at 6. So I went to bed about 10, so I think. So when I set my alarm, it said like 9 hours for 7 o'clock, and I thought, oh, that's quite a lot. So I set it for 6. So it's really chilly this morning. Yeah, I can't see it. I've got my coffee steep, but yeah, so it's a really chilly one. So I'd rate this as an overall success. It's a bit nerve-wracking. I have a go-to woods, as I said. It's the one I said where I got covered in ticks. That was my go-to woods, and I was completely confident with everything there, because I've been there so many times, never had any trouble. Nobody ever seemed to go into that woods after a certain time, because it's so high with brambles, and in the summer it's about 5 foot high ferns, and you couldn't really get in there. And in the winter they'd all died down, but it still left a good sort of 3 foot high pile of dead stuff. So it wasn't really, although you could get in there, it wasn't really very friendly for walking or dog walking or anything like that. So people never tend to go in there. Occasionally I saw people sort of struggling with doing that, but yeah, I never had any trouble there. So I kind of kept going back there because it was easy. So that the tick incident has prompted me to look elsewhere. I mean, I probably will go back there because it was, you know, there's ticks everywhere, but it did prompt me to sort of think, well, let's look for somewhere else. But yeah, it may not have happened if I'd have put some tick stuff on, and then, you know, I just didn't bother, because I've been in that wood for a long time and never had any problem at all, for some reason. Still, it prompted me to look elsewhere on the insistence of my partner, who went, oh, you get covered in ticks in there, but you get covered in ticks anywhere, but potentially. But yeah, and this is a nice one. I'm quite pleased with this one. And as I say, it's all about the views, and that's the main thing. And this is really nice place to sit. Just completely cut off from everything else, because it's a circle of hedges and trees. So you just got a really beautiful view to look at. Like this. I can't see what you're looking at now, because I'm presuming That's my view when I woke up this morning. That's pretty nice, isn't it? That's pretty good. Can't be unhappy with that. First thing in the morning. It was lovely last night, just sitting here outside the tent. Even in the winter, a lot of people on YouTube saying, oh, you know, you've got to go get a good tent because you sometimes spend 16, 17 hours in it. I'm like, what? I go in mine when it's time for bed. Obviously it's pouring down with rain, you know. You can't. Well, you could sit out in the rain. In the summer, you know, just a brolly, I'd still sit out in the rain. Just hold a brolly. Maybe in the winter when it's pouring down with rain and it's cold and wet as well, you might not want to. But basically, I sit outside the tent the whole time. And I go in the tent just to go to bed. If it's windy, that's another reason to go inside, because if you're cooking, especially if it's winter winds, you know, it's like ice cold, that might be another reason to go inside the tent. But most of the time that's people, I guess, who are up on top of the Peak District hills and all that. Most of the time I'm in the forest, and even if it's windy, you're kind of surrounded by trees, so you're kind of quite well protected. I very rarely use my guy ropes. In fact, I think the time I have used my guy ropes, I've just done it because I fancied trying the guy ropes out, not because I felt I needed them. Because it's always so still. Everywhere I go, all the forests I go in there, it's always so still. There's literally nothing here, there's no wind or anything. There's just no need for guy ropes. I could probably get away with not even pegging the tent down. I always peg the corners down, but I probably don't even need to do that. We're quite a musical family. It's things I do to keep myself entertained while I'm out here. Is that my partner's a bit of a rapper.
Oh. I was just doing a bit of B-roll, you love.
Sorry, but
Love.
sorry, but
Love.
And I can play the guitar. So together. Sorry, but
Love.
sorry, but
Love.
So I bought a whole cook set. Although that's quite big, I'm still downsizing my previous cook set and making it lighter. And I couldn't store the gas bottle inside the last cook set. So it's although that don't fit inside, although that sits in the bag, this little net bag on top, I've had to buy an igniter because the last one had an igniter, this didn't have an igniter. So even though it sits that size inside the bag, it's still lighter and more compact because I'm not carrying a separate gas bottle, and the cook set is smaller. But I wanted to say about what I found interesting about the burner, the stove, is that this is my first, I know this is going to probably differ in someone's opinion, but this is my first quality, this is OEX, it's my first quality stove. And I know probably people go, they're rubbish OEX, but from my perspective, it's my first quality stove, because I've been using a Chinese stove that costs like peanuts before that. And the interesting difference, and I was happy with that, you know, you just need it to boil your water, cook your food, and any Chinese stove would do that. And that's why I stuck with it. I thought, well, it's doing the job. But the interesting thing about this is, and the most useful thing as a stealther, is how quiet it is. It's so super quiet. It's got a much larger place that the flames come out, whatever you want to call that. So it's more efficient, but it boils the water at a much lower temperature. My beard is soaking wet because of the dewy morning. So it's more efficient, and so it boils the water quicker, and it's so quiet. You know, when you turn it up maximum, it's like a quarter of the sound. My last one used to turn it up in any setting, it was it's so loud, and I used to be quite paranoid about putting it on, because I'll be like looking around, you know, because when you're in the middle of a woods and there's no one else around, even during the day, it's a sound that travels quite far. And this on the low settings has no sound, and on the higher settings it's just extremely quiet. So I just wanted to sort of share my happiness with, even though it's OEX, this is may not be considered the best brand, I don't know, but as far as I'm concerned, it's a one of the better, it's a better quality company than Chinese, I think, although they might be made in China for all I know, but they're better quality anyway than using the generic term, a Chinese brand, because it might still be Chinese, I've no idea, nor do I care. But so it's a lot quieter, it's a lot more efficient. I think it boils things quicker, so I'm saving on gas. The only thing I'll put it away again. The only thing I don't like about it is, one is that which is something, it's good to do this, because then you can bear this in mind for the next one if there is another one. One thing I don't like, the fact that these don't sort of fold, and the arms don't, there's no rigidity in it, so they're all floppy. So the amount of times I've sort of like put it down, and then I'm not happy with exactly where I've put it, so I take whatever I'm cooking off and I move the gas stove a bit and I put it back down, and I nearly dropped on the floor because while I've moved it, one of these has popped in and I've not noticed. And when you're trying to get it in, yeah, it's natural to fold it up and then go like that to put it in the bag. Well, then they all open again, you can't get it in the bag, so you kind of have to sort of hold it upright and then faff the bag over the top, which is the small things, but it's still an irritation. So I wouldn't mind them being stiff, so that they either lock into place or they're just stiffer to open. And the one last thing, that my last Chinese stove, once you turned it off, I've never timed it, but in no time at all it was cool enough to handle. And this, I turn this off and I have to wait for like 6 months before it's cool enough to handle. It seems to stay red hot for such a long time. Very small irritations. I'd still want this over the last stove I had, because of how quiet it is and how fuel efficient it is. So I have mentioned this before and said, oh, I've bought a new stove, but this is I'm at a point now where I've used it quite a few times, and I'm at the point now where I can really see where I do and don't like it. So overall I do like it, but if I'm looking for the next stove, I'll be looking for arms that aren't flibbity flobbity, and I don't know if you can do anything about it taking ages to cool down, but certainly the arm thing I'll be looking into on the next stove. I'll be opening or closing all the arms. But I mean, it'll be a while before I bother even doing that. I've just bought it, and the last stove, even though I wasn't 100% happy with it, I just kept it till it died, because at the end of the day you just need it to heat up stuff. So I'm going to pack up now. I'm going to shoot off. So as I've already said, it was a good one. I really enjoyed this one, and I've done a couple of van camps, so it was nice to get back out in the tent again. I do enjoy that. When I do one, I miss the other. Do some van camps and I miss the tent camps, and I do tent camp and I miss the van camp. I think I'm going to do a few more tent camps before I go back to a van one, though, because it feels like it's been forever since I've done tent one. So and I really enjoy that. I really enjoy getting out into the woods. You can't do that in the van. Get into the middle of the woods, and it's a nice feeling. So I think I'm going to do quite a few more tent camps before I go back to the van. So that's it then. Thanks for watching. If you got this far, obviously you're watching, and thanks for your support. Thanks for everyone's continued support. I'm still only a tiny little channel, and it's growing extremely slowly, but you know, the support I do get, I really appreciate because of that. And But you know, at the end of the day, I do this for the fun of it, the enjoyment of it. So, you know. I never noticed there's frost on the ground. Just how cold was it last night? There'd be frost and all the leaves, ice. It shows how good your equipment is, doesn't it? Because when you I mean, that must have been minus temperatures then. So when you're nice and warm in your tent, and you've got the right clothes on to be nice and warm outside your tent, you know, you've got such good equipment, you don't even know it's minus temperatures, which it must have been, otherwise everything couldn't be iced up. So, just goes to show, you can be warm and comfortable in all temperatures. All you need is the right equipment.